The top 10 most dangerous cities in the world. Number 10, Juarez, Mexico. Juarez, Mexico, with its population of 1.3 million, lies on the other side of the Rio Grande and the American city of El Paso, Texas. Shocked by wars between drug cartels who aspire to bring illicit substances into the United States, the number of murders has increased significantly in recent times, with 300 killings in 2007 and as many as 2,500 just 2 years later. The increased arming of police forces and drug militias on the street has resulted in more violence. Attacks, shootings, and human rights violations are commonplace. Since 1993, Juarez has been a major threat to women. Mass disappearances and murders are taking place here, and so far, the police have found 370 bodies of missing persons. In 2011, unknown perpetrators shot at a car that was being driven by 5 women, all of whom were killed. Number 9, Cape Town, South Africa. In 2017, 60 killings per 100,000 inhabitants were recorded in the oldest city of South Africa, with more than 3.5 million inhabitants. This is still better than back in 2016, when almost 2,500 murders took place. Theft and robbery are also commonplace. According to one journalist, crime is a result of high availability of alcohol and drugs, complemented by the fact that it's twice as easy to access weapons than in any other South African city. In 2017, however, the situation improved a little, and the city authorities decided to implement a new strategy: neighborhood security teams, which are trained to take the streets and supervise the most dangerous areas. The future will show whether this system will work. Number 8, Detroit, Michigan. Detroit is one of the most dangerous cities in the USA, as is often the case in places where crime rates are high and a lack of wealth being the primary reason for the situation. The average household income in Detroit back in 2014 was just over $25.5 thousand, which was the second worst of any U.S. state. Nearly 300 murders took place in 2015, with only New York and Chicago recording higher rates because of their population being approximately 12 times higher. People are leaving Detroit. In the 1950s, 1.8 million people were living in the city, and now only less than 700,000. Those who are hindered by crime simply leave, which makes Detroit's ranking even worse, a total downward spiral. Number 7, Aracaju, Brazil. This city capital state in Brazil is one of the most dangerous places in the world. With more than 600,000 people per 100,000 inhabitants, the city was almost 63rd when it came to world ranking back in 2016, when it was a training center for the Olympics. Under the spotlight, the Brazilian Minister of Justice and Public Security introduced national forces to maintain order and investigate the most dangerous places. Number 6, Distrito Centrale, Honduras. Honduras is always high on the list when it comes to the most dangerous cities in the world. With a population of 1.2 million, this specific metropolis recorded more than 1,000 murders in 2016. High crime in this city may be associated with a high degree of poverty, a developed mafia network, and corruption among authorities and officials. And if you're still thinking about dropping in on your next holiday, think again. Frequent targets of criminal attacks are naive tourists. Recently, one of the drug barons has actually agreed to work with U.S. authorities. Some believe that this collaboration will make a massive difference in the situation of the city. Number 5, Kabul, Afghanistan. Afghanistan is often said to be the most dangerous country in the world, and all the problems of the country became hyper-concentrated in the capital city, Kabul. Despite many years of Western presence in the city, the situation is totally unstable. Wikitravel.org advises the following: traveling to Kabul is extremely dangerous and highly inadvisable. The current Afghan government has little control over Kabul, which is practically a war zone. Threats are unpredictable and violence is on the increase. I don't know, but I think I'm gonna skip this one. Number 4, Karachi, Pakistan. Karachi is Pakistan's largest city of alarmed distress. Almost 15 million people live in a city conducive to various crimes: terrorist attacks, crimes committed by religious sects, or war on drug gangs are simply the order of the day. The American magazine Foreign Policy described Karachi as the most dangerous town in the world. Many urban areas are controlled by the Taliban. Number 3. Cairo, Egypt. Egypt's capital city is often listed as one of the world's most dangerous cities. In addition, a survey by Thomas Reuters Foundation, which investigated women's safety in cities with over 10 million inhabitants, found that the situation in Cairo was the worst, overtaking famous cities like New Delhi. Those who are fighting for women's rights pointed out that Egypt is firmly rooted in centuries-old tradition that are almost impossible to change. As Egyptian journalist Shahari Amin explains, everything in the city is difficult for women. Something as simple as crossing the street is a problem. Women are subject to harassments, both verbal and even physical. Number 2. Acapulco, Mexico. Acapulco, although associated with romantic songs, is the second most dangerous city in the world. After leaving the beaches and passing through rows of luxury hotels, you'll find the true face of the city. In 2013, 140 murders were committed per capita. This is 28 times the US average. A shocking story told by investigative journalist Martin Basto, who recalls the wave of crimes which spread across the city in 2019 after the killing of a drug baron by the Mexican authorities. After his death, rival gangs wanted to dominate the drug market in the city, and so bloody wars began. Mass executions, limbless bodies were everyday occurrences at the time. Number 1. Caracas, Venezuela. The capital of Venezuela was the world's most dangerous city in 2016, with almost 130 murders per capita. Caracas holds this infamous record for the second year running. The city was also plagued by street gangs terrorizing its inhabitants and organized crime groups. There's a great deal of political and economic unrest in the city, which means that in the nearest future, no major changes should be expected. That's it for today's episode of Exit 10. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave us a comment, and binge watch our videos. Oh yeah, and smash the bell!